with you, Deng. Tell us briefly about this Luol Deng Foundation, your foundation.
All right. Luol Deng Foundation, we started way back, maybe 2005, 2006. We started doing things, but at that time we were still not fully registered. We exist in UK, US, and South Sudan. In UK, we only do basketball program over there. We have the Deng Academy, which has been running now for years. In US, we do, there's a South Sudan Unite event that we do, get all the South Sudanese and, have a good event, talking about their skills and bring everybody together. And as well, we do basketball camps. In South Sudan, we've been really wide. We started our work back in the days. It was actually Luol and the UNDP. They done few work. They renovated the schools. They done clean water, which is putting water pumps around the villages. And as well, they done a little bit of work in Darfur.
Sudan.
Yeah, in Sudan. Yeah, back then when we were still one country.
Right.
Yeah. For us here at Luol Deng Foundation South Sudan, we built a school. That's how we started, way back.
When was that?
That was the school was built in northern Barghazal. Yeah, in a small village called Bach. And the reason we built it there is just because the area is surrounded by a lot of villages, and there is no school around that area. And that was 2015. That's when we started building it. And we finished it around 2016. The school existed till today. As well, we've done food relief in a lot of different places outside the skirt of Juba. We've done food relief as well in Awil, northern Barghazal. And as well, we got a program here, which is our biggest program right now that we have, which is Luol Deng Academy. Yeah, right. Luol Deng Academy, we started 2015. Officially opened 2015, but we start putting the code together at 2014 at Juba University. Juba University, they accommodated us, gave us the place, and we have a huge program there. And the program is more of educational program. So we use the sports to get kids, right, to be educated, go to school.
Right.
Yeah.
We'll get back to you again, Deng. Let me come to you, Heaven. Let's talk about the objective of this South Sudan youth camp activity.
Yeah, thank you, Emmanuel. We're really excited about this new partnership with the Luol Deng Foundation. We're excited about the history and the experience they bring to working with youth and sports. And the objective of this South Sudan youth camp activity is really to strengthen social cohesion and develop life skills for South Sudanese youth between the ages of 13 and 29. When we talk about life skills, we're talking about leadership, conflict resolution, communication, self-awareness, things like respect for gender equality, girls and women, their abilities to mediate and have mediate conflict and have healthy habits. When we talk about social cohesion, we're talking about fostering a sense of unity, common purpose, shared identity, breaking down the divisions that sometimes exist among our youth so that they can understand each other, their common values, and learn how to work together.
Right. And then tell us more, describe to us the activities of this youth camp we're talking about today.
Oh, well, I think Haven said the most of it. It's more of a life skills. It's more educational. And we're going to be using the sports as well as a part of it. And as Haven said, the point of these whole activities that we're doing is getting the youth together, let them know their identity. Let us work together, forget all the tribalism and all the things that we're going through right now in South Sudan. And these are the main thing. And the most focused thing is more educational and life skills.
Right. And Heaven, let's talk about the positive change in in our communities, and especially youth, how can they really play a positive role here?
Yeah, no, that's a great question, Emmanuel. I mean, as we all know, youth is the overwhelming majority of South Sudan. You know, about more than 70% of the country. And it's really important that they understand that they, too, are role models for people of all ages. And through youth leadership, positive behavior and attitudes, they can shape this country's future. So I think, you know, we want to reinforce that message, and by this experiential learning, life skills, you know, positive activities, including basketball and other types of play, we can equip youth with the tools to learn, lead, build, produce, to use their voices in the home, in schools, in villages, bomas, payams, and even in government. I think what we hope to model is that youth have great potential to be positive role models and leaders of this country, but in order for youth to see the changes they want, they have to be a part of those changes. And so this is just, you know, this is a small activity, you know, in the grand scheme of things, but our hope is that things like the youth sports camp led by the Luol Deng Foundation will really be a step in the right direction.
Yes, and Deng, would you like to ask something about this issue of discussing the how can youth create positive change in their community or society?
Yeah, definitely. You know, as a South Sudanese, you know, we can see our youth, they're struggling in a lot of things. If you look all around the world right now, in different countries, there's a lot of activities, you know, a lot of changes, which we're lacking right now in South Sudan, which we're moving towards. Hopefully, we're moving towards the right choices. So, yeah, we need things like these for our youth, you know, to change, to change our communities and what's going on right now in South Sudan.
Right. Yeah. And Mr. Heaven, let me come to you. I understand you're a basketballer yourself. You can tell us a little bit more about that. But then tell us also, how do you really see the potential of South Sudanese youth in excelling in basketball?
Yeah, no, great question, and thanks for the, for calling me a basketball player. It's been a long time since I played organized basketball, not since high school. I'm not the player that Coach Dang and others have been. Right. But I quickly realized that, my future lay in, the more academic side. But that's fine. I think there's a great potential here. When I was young, I grew up in Washington, D.C., I saw Manute Bol play back in the 80s when I was a high schooler, and he was very impactful. I actually met him. My father took me to meet him, and just very impressive. At that time, he was the tallest player in the entire National Basketball Association of the United States. I think there's great potential here. Obviously on the athletic side, there's I can't tell you how many, but certainly dozens, possibly hundreds of South Sudanese have successfully played in the U.S., U.K., internationally, at the collegiate levels, university, as well as in professional leagues. So, obviously the athletic achievement is one part of that possibility. But I think more importantly, for youth who aren't going to play at the highest levels, it's a fun, collective sport. You don't need a lot of equipment. And it's a way to engage your bodies and mind. And that's what we're really looking forward to, having an impact, a positive impact with youth. I still play today here in Juba, even as an old man, for outdoor exercise, stress relief. And so, we can't lose sight of that important aspect. It is recreation. Basketball and sports, it's a way to really just have fun. And I think a lot of youth in this country are missing out on that and don't have enough of that. We have to have creative, positive outlets for them. And basketball is a sport that teaches teamwork, leadership, communication, healthy competition, how to work together as a team so that youth can come together, improve themselves as individuals in a group, and accomplish their goals.
And when you play next time, please invite us. We want to see you play. All right.
One-on-one.
Then let me come to you. Tell us, how will the youth camp activity be a model for controlling anti-social behavior among youth here in South Sudan?
Well, I think we need a lot more of that. In South Sudan right now, youth are the future. They're the one that are going to run the country in the future. Right. And we need to put our power into what can change the youth and bring them to that level that hopefully we have a better future and a better South Sudan. Yeah. So
Right. Heaven, the same question to you. Would you like to add something?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot that sports do to promote positive habits and skills, as we talked about. You know, it shows emotional maturity, discipline. You know, the concepts like winning and losing is okay. When you have conflict or you have a competitive environment, you know, violence is not the way to you know, find a positive outcome. Respect for rules and authority. You know, you have coaches, you have referees, all of that. You know, you have to respect that in order to play an organized sport, you know, in a decent way. As I said before, that, you know, it allows for an outlet for youth energy, you know, in a constructive, positive way. And again, coming together as a team for a common purpose so you can achieve your goal.
Right. And then tell us, will the youth camp accommodate only youth with some education background?
yeah, it's not going to be like the fully educated, but they have to have some education background, because there's going to be a lot of reading. There's going to be a lot of life skills and stuff to be done. There's going to be a lot of handouts, so they have to be able to, you know, to be able to step on it step by step.
Now, so Heaven, let me come to you. The youth camp activity runs from January to September this year. So what impact will it really have in such a short time?
Yeah, no, great question, Emmanuel. I think there were 2 points I would make. The first is that even short experiences for youth can be transformational. As I talked about earlier on the show, you know, I talked about when I was a teenager, I met Manute Bol, and how that was you know, he was a positive role model for me, not only for what he could do on the court, but for how he was a leader and you know, involved in the sort of evolution of his country and what he wanted to see in his future. And I think in the same way, even in brief experiences in these camps, you know, youth can develop mentally and physically through exposure to new people, friendships, role models, etc. And so they can have a new vision for their future. And secondly, this particular program, the youth camps with LDF, is a pilot activity that will have potential to scale up in other contexts if it has success. USAID has other programs. We have a peace-building program called Seja Salam that has grants and other things that are available that will have a peace-building youth component that could include sports. We also plan to launch a large you know, $40 million youth program later this year. Won't talk more about it now, but that will include education, life skills, job training, and other components, including sports for the youth of South Sudan.
All right. Thank you for that. Heaven, let me come to you, Deng, once again. Tell us, how can the youth camp be a catalyst for social cohesion?
Actually, I'm just gonna give you first a breakdown about the youth camp. We're gonna be targeting the youth that we're gonna be targeting is more of disadvantaged youth. The IDPs, for example, we're gonna get some. We're gonna have 50% of the girls, definitely as well. So it's gonna make a lot of changes. Yep.
Right. Now, before we can wind up, let's have your last message to the people of South Sudan through iRadio. I start with you, Deng.
My last message? Well, my last message is going to be for the people of South Sudan.
Sure.
You know, our country is an up-and-coming country. We need all the help that we can put together to bring our country up. Thanks for NGOs that we have around, the international NGOs. You know, thanks for the USAID that have been doing a lot for all these years. And my message is let everybody try to do something positive. All of us, for us to hit the right direction, you know, everybody in this world, you have something that you can do. You know, even if it's a word, even if it's a little helping hand. And that's why, as Luol Deng Foundation, that's why we're here, because we want our country to be better, and we do our best to get it to where we want to get it.
Right. Thank you for that, Mr. Heaven.
Yeah, no, thank you, Emmanuel, for this opportunity again to be here today. I just want to emphasize that USAID is very excited about partnering with LDF, and want to echo the words of Coach Deng that this opportunity working with youth is just a step in the right direction. Whether it's on life skills or the actual basketball skills, we feel that this activity is fundamentally important to what we're trying to do on a larger scale, teaching teamwork, self-esteem, leadership, conflict resolution to the youth of South Sudan. That's what we want them to achieve, to have fun, to learn, to strengthen their bodies and minds, and to look beyond the divisions of age, set, tribe, gender, and forge a common identity as simply proud, confident, young, and talented South Sudanese.
Right. Thank you both. Heaven Krush Habat, USAID Mission Director here in South Sudan, and Deng Deng, the Country Director of Luol Deng Foundation. Thank you for joining us on the Dawn today. It's our pleasure.
Thank you very much.